right, we're now looking at target B3. And target B3 is I can add and subtract rational expressions by identifying the least common denominator. So now we're doing another operation. We're adding and subtracting. And the biggest thing is in order to add and subtract fractions, and this is true of just numbers as well as now our rational expressions, is that we need that least common denominator. So we need to know what that is first. And our least common denominator is, it's the smallest of all the common denominators. So the common denominator is with all the same factors. Okay. And I really want the smallest of those. Okay. So it's kind of hard to think about, but we'll see it when we do some adding and subtracting with just numbers first, and then when we do it with our expressions. Okay. So steps for adding and subtracting, more subtractions. Factor the denominator and write the LCD is what we'll refer to it on the side. Compare the LCD to the denominator of each term. Whatever is missing should be multiplied to both the numerator and the denominator. Simplify the problem by combining like terms in the numerator and keeping the denominator the same. So let's look at our first one. Here, all we're doing is, this is just numbers. There's no variables in this first number 1. So 5/19 minus 3/19. These have the same denominator, so this is very easy. I can just combine them. 5 minus 3 is 2. Denominator stays the same. Now, this one, we have to focus on what our least common denominator is. I'm going to do it off to the side here. Actually, I'm going to do it off the side here. These don't really have any factors. 7 and 3 are prime numbers. So the least common denominator needs the factors from both. So this one has 7, and this one has 3. So our least common denominator is, we'll just leave it as 7 times 3 for now, is 7 times 3. Now we have to think about what each of these is missing. This first one is missing the 3. So I'm going to multiply by a 3 in both the numerator and the denominator. Our second net fraction is missing the 7. So I'm going to multiply by 7 over 7. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 7. We'll multiply it since it's just numbers. When we have our expressions, we'll usually leave it factored. So that's a good thing to remember. But then we have 14 over 21. Then we're just adding these, right? 12 over 21 plus 14 over 21 is 26 over 21. Nothing reduces there, so we're done. Okay. Number 3. Now, 8 and 6 are not prime. They have factors, so we want to look at those factors. Right, 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. 6 is 2 times 3. Right. So when I'm looking at my least common denominator for these, is that too big? No. Okay. When I'm looking at my least common denominator, I want to list all my factors of the first one. And then I want to list my factors of the second one, but I don't want to repeat anything. So I already have one of my 2's, so I only need a 3. Okay? So I only have to add in things I don't already have. Now, when we compare 2, this one's just missing a 3. 2, 3. This one's missing both of these 2's. So we're just kind of lining everything up. Now what do we have? 3 times 3 is 9 over, again, I'm going to actually multiply out 3 times 2 times 2 times 3, blah, blah, blah. It is 24, yeah, okay, I had it right. Plus 1 times 2 is 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 is still 24. And that equals 13 over 24. Okay. So technically, this is going back to 5th grade, maybe? I don't know when you learn how to add fractions, but it's around there, right, of adding fractions. So you want to make sure we're good at that. If we're not good at that, and that is review of something we should know from even before last year, even before middle school, I think. So if you're struggling with adding fractions, just that, make sure you come in to get a little more help. Now we want to look at our, what do we have? Expressions. So we want to look at our denominators. So looking at number 4, we have 7x plus 4 over x squared plus 3x plus 2 minus 3x minus 4 over x squared plus 3x plus 2. If you look, these have the same denominator. So I can just combine them. However, with these ones, we want to make them an addition problem. So I'm going to do 7x plus 4 over x squared distribute that negative. So now it's negative 3x plus 4. So I have 7x minus 4 is 4x. 4 plus 4 is 8. Okay. I do want to simplify if I can, so going back to what we've done already. I'm going to take out the 4 here. What multiplies to 2 and adds to 3? That's 2 and 1. Okay, so I answer there. 4 over x plus 1. Okay, so sometimes things will divide out at the end. Okay, if you look at number 5, these do not have a common denominator. So I'm just going to kind of quickly rewrite this as 5 over 8 minus 3 over 8 times x. On the side, I'm going to do by LCD. If these numbers weren't the same, I'd kind of break them apart more, but I'm not super worried about it because they're the exact same number. So my least common number is this one has an 8, this one already has the 8, and it has an x. So now, what are we missing? This one has the 8, it's just missing the x. This one has the 8 and the x. It's not missing anything. I don't have to do anything to that problem. That's nice. So I have 5x over 8 minus 8x minus 3 over 8x, right? Just multiplying both of these in. Now they have the same denominator. So now I have 5x, right, I'm going to change this, minus 3, sorry, I'm changing this one, over 8x. The top doesn't factor in any way, so there's nothing I'm going to cancel out. That's my final answer. All right, looking at our next problem, number 6, 4 over 9 plus 1 over 3x. Again, these do not have a common denominator, so I'm going to rewrite this. Least common denominator. On this one, my denominator is 3 times 3, so I need both of those numbers. And I don't want to repeat anything with my second one, So I already have a 3. I just need an x. Now we have to see if we're missing anything. We have to get our denominators on both of our fractions to be the least common denominator. It has a 3 and a 3. It's missing the x, so x, x. This one has a 3 and an x. It's missing this 3. So I am left with then 4 times x is 4x. We'll keep it as this for now. 1 times 3 is 3. Combine them, now they have the same denominator, right? They both have that least common denominator. So we have 4x plus 3. 3 times 3. The top doesn't factor in any way, so I'm just going to finalize my answer by multiplying the bottom back together. So that's kind of the end there. If you do it earlier, it's not the biggest deal, especially with a problem like this. But if you have one where you have factors, if you multiply them together here, you might just have to factor them back apart here. So it's easier just to wait till the end to multiply everything back together. Otherwise, you're going to be doing things like twice. All right, let's look at number 7. Now, this is when we have to factor to find our factors. Okay? So I have 5x over x squared plus 7x. This is supposed to be a 10. And we've lost it as a 0 there. Sorry. X squared plus 7x plus 10. So what multiplies to 10 and adds to 7? X plus 5 and x plus 2, right? 5 times 2 is 10. 5 plus 2 is 7. So these don't have the same denominator. So we're going to do our LCD over on the side. This one has 2 factors, x plus 5, x plus 2. This one, I've already used the x plus 5, so I don't have to do anything else. So let's see what we have to multiply by. This one has the x plus 5. It has the x plus 2. There's nothing it's missing. This one has an x plus 5. It's missing the x plus 2. I'll put that in parentheses so I remember that those are 2 different factors. Okay. So now writing this out, we have 5x over x plus 5, x plus 2, plus, we get to distribute 4x plus 8, it's not subtraction, so I don't have to worry about changing any signs. So I'm just going to combine my like terms. 5x plus 4x is 9x. I want to see if I can factor the numerator to see if anything's going to cancel out. 9x plus 8, nothing, there's no common denominator, nothing's going to factor there. So my last step is just putting my denominator back together. You could do all the steps to FOIL it back together, or you could look at your original denominator, right? That's where those 2 numbers came from. So that's easy enough. Okay, right, we factored it, now we're just putting it back together. All right, go ahead and turn the page. We're going to do, I believe, 2 more problems. Looking at number 8, I'm going to start by factoring it. We have 16. Difference of squares, right? So this is x plus 4 over 2 times x plus 4. Okay. So LCD, our least common denominator. This one has an x plus 4 and an x minus 4. Starting back at the beginning, not repeating, we've already used x plus 4, so that's it. What are we missing? This one has both of those. It's not missing anything. Come on. This one has the x plus 4. It's missing the x minus 4. So now rewriting it. We have 16 over x plus 4, x minus 4, plus, we're going to distribute, 4, x minus 4. It's addition, so I don't have to worry about changing any signs. I don't know why I put a parentheses there. Don't worry about it. So we're going to start with our x, right? We still want to write it in standard form. So x is first, and then 16 minus 8 is 8. Okay. Check if you can factor your numerator. I can factor out a 2. And my x plus 4's cancel out. I'm left with 2 over x minus 4. Alright, last one we're going to do on this video. Sorry. 4 over x squared minus 5x plus 6 minus 5 over x squared plus x minus 12. Okay. So I have to factor both of these. So I have 4 over what adds to positive 6, or sorry, multiplies to positive 6, but adds to negative 5. That's negative 2 and negative 3. Minus, adds to negative 12. Oh my gosh, I can't say it right. Multiplies to negative 12, but adds to positive 1. That's 4 and negative 3. So now we want to do our LCD on the side, right, or on top. In this one, we have these two factors. Okay. Now, starting back at the beginning but not repeating, I don't have an x plus 4 yet, but I do already have an x minus 3. So then we're good. Okay. So what are we missing? So this one has an x minus 2 and an x minus 3, but it's missing the x plus 4. In our other one, we have an x plus 4 and an x minus 3, but we're missing the x minus 2. So now rewriting, we're going to distribute this. So we have, ignore that, 4x plus 16 over. The order I write these is the same order as I wrote it up here, no matter what this is. So that's x minus 2, x minus 3, x plus 4. Same thing here, minus, distribute this. Okay, so that it's easy to see that they're the same. Combining, it's subtraction, so change the sign, change the things after it. 4x minus 5x is negative 1x. 16 plus 10 is 26. Then we have x minus 2, x minus 3, x plus 4. And that's it. When there's 3, if you really want to multiply it all together and write that in standard form, you go for it. But I'm not going to worry about it in this video. We tested on that last unit. So if there's 3, don't worry about multiplying them all back together. Okay? All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.